Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of WMSE's Local Live. Here we are back in the studio again. My name is Cal. I'm here with Erin.
Good evening.
Good evening. And we've got a special one for you tonight.
Yes.
First time on Local Live, and I believe first time on our airwaves here at WMSE, Smoke and Mirrors.
That's right. I've been hearing a lot about these guys lately. It seems like they've been playing quite a few shows out and about in the town, and they just released a really awesome new record called Wolf Party. It's their debut record, came out in August. And I think, you know, the way they do the show circuit around here is kind of the best way to experience them. I really think that these guys, you know, where they shine is in the live setting. So I'm really excited to have these guys, you know, be able to do a little improv for you. You know, I hope you did check out Wolf Party because it's great. But this is going to be even like to the nth degree. So they've got these upbeat tempos. They have lots of elements of funk because they've got the organ sounds and the saxophone. So I'm really stoked that Smoke and Mirrors could make it in here.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind, I haven't seen them live yet, but when I listened to their record, first thing I thought of was the band Galactic, which is a band that I used to catch anytime I could possibly catch them because they were so amazing. And they're like, I love that jazz funk sound where really anything can just pop out at you, and any influence from any genre might seep into a certain song. But yeah, I'm not gonna like hold them to that standard, but I think that anybody is into that type of thing is gonna get down to this too. So without further ado, I'm gonna play a quick spot and thank the people who are responsible for keeping the lights on here at WMSE's Local Live every week, and we'll be right back with some live music.
WMSE's Local Live is supported by Club Garibaldi. Located at 2501 South Superior Street in Bayview. Open 7 days a week, Club Garibaldi serves burgers, hot wings, and more, and features live music weekly. For more information and Club Garibaldi's live music events, visit clubgaribaldi.com.
Thanks as always to Club Garibaldi for helping support this program. And now we're going to send it out to the Bob and Genie Friedman Live Performance Studio. Here they are, Smoke and Mirrors.
WMSE 91.7 FM. Abroad.
All right, we're back in the studio. We've got Smoke and Mirrors here with us. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey. Hi, how's it going?
Would you guys mind introducing yourselves on the mics for our listeners out there?
I'm Gabriel Hammer. I play keyboards and the organ.
Sam Casala, drums.
My name is Pete Geraci. I play saxophone.
All right. Now, is it true that some of you guys have been involved in radio before?
Yeah,
is
we've
true.
dabbled. We
Dabbled?
dabbled. River West Radio.
Radio.
Used to have a
Okay.
show. Jim and
and
Friends
Friends.
read the news.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Okay.
it was a blast. Yeah, it's sad to have.
Well, many
had
years
it
ago,
end.
we were on like an Illinois station. I forget what it was. I think it was 95.1.
I don't know about that.
That was like 2000 and
That's like way too long for me to
Five
remember,
or
man.
something.
I can't remember what I wore yesterday, honestly.
Huh.
Jeans, probably.
So did you just like read the headlines for an hour, or what was just discuss
Basically,
them?
we discussed it, and we would read the headlines, and kind of go off on tangents.
Yeah, make fun of the news and just how absurd it is. And especially when I joined on much later,
Yeah, more
and it was
political
right
and
around
Pete.
the election, and it was just bonkers, and it was just so easy to make fun of it because everything was just so absurd,
Yeah.
and still is actually.
Yeah, a lot of recipes. What else did we do? We
Yeah,
talked about
recipes.
animals.
You
in
had the top
news.
10 lists
Okay.
that would just
Oh,
go
yeah.
on and on and on. It would be like
Those are my fillers.
20 minutes worth of top 10 lists.
Yeah.
That was fun. It was just it was like awkward funny too, because like we didn't know what we were doing. And
Mhm.
we would just go up there and read stories, and I would just pull up my cell phone and be like, oh, what's interesting today? Oh, somebody said this, and then we just make fun of it, and it was a good time.
The beauty of Underground Railroad radio.
So you guys have, probably been playing music for quite some time. You seem very accomplished. Is the instrument you're playing tonight your primary instrument, or did you grow up playing anything else?
My primary instrument's the drums.
You
But-
says the keyboard player,
Yeah,
just to paint a visual.
but I've been playing keyboards for a number of years, almost as long as I've been playing the drums, and this is the second project where my main instrument is the keyboards. The first was like a reggae band.
Mm.
But I've been teaching piano for about 10 years or so. So just kind of worked at it and improved through, through teaching. But, I studied it in school too. I went to music school. But
Yeah, you didn't really start playing piano until a few years ago, and then you've just been going at it really hard and practicing a lot.
Yeah.
And Gabe's come a long way. We all have in the past couple of years, and just kind of how the band has grown and all of our different roles in it and stuff. So it's been really fun to kind of watch. All of
teaching
us
has
kind of
helped
progress.
with that, just kind of showing my students what to play. And then I'm like, well, I should be working on that too. So
That works out.
That's real cool. Yeah, you can teach yourself some different tricks, jazz and blues and all that good stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of jazz and blues. Started out with the basics and everything though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, that's real cool. How about you guys? Have you always played what you play?
Yeah, drums, yes.
Drums?
All drums all the time. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
sax
just
all the
sax
time?
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
okay. So how did you
Yeah,
guys come together as a band?
I knew Gabe from like a jam session a long time ago, like Rochambeau on Brady Street, and then Pete I just met through. So Gabe's like the center of all this.
Yeah.
The thing that when I was walking down Humboldt with my dog and I ran into Sam, and then I was like, I've always liked his drumming. I should try and invite him over and try some stuff with the keys. As I was starting to feel a little more comfortable behind the keyboard as the main instrument. So, yeah, so that was really kind of like, huh, yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I've known Gabe for, I think, over 10 years. We used to be in a band back in the day when we used to live in Illinois called Sweet Pick. Shout out to Sweet Pick.
Yeah.
That was a fun band, and then we kind of went our separate ways, and then I was playing in a band in Chicago called Cousin Dud for a bunch of years. They're like indie rock band, kind of like Wilco and Bruce Springsteen kind of smashed in together. It was a really fun band to play in, and we broke up about a couple years ago, and I moved to Colorado, and then I moved back to Milwaukee just a few years ago, and Gabe's always been my bro, and so we just started kind of messing around, and that's how Smoke and Mirrors started to form, and Sam like really kind of brought everything together. as an actual band, because it was just Gabe playing loops on the keyboard, and I was trying to come up with solos over it, and it was.
Oh, we had
we had a couple. Yeah.
There was a first incarnation of the band where I was playing drums, and we had Mark Furch playing bass. And
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then we had some of the songs that we do now, but actually probably maybe only one of them, and it's the one that we barely play. But once I
so when I'm like, oh god,
I impulse
we have to play that
bought
one?
an organ, on eBay, and then it's like, all right, now I gotta put together a band where I could play this thing.
It's so fun, isn't it funny? Like how bands come together, like for no real special purpose other than, oh, I bought this cool toy on the internet, and now let's start a band. Sure,
Right.
Good excuse.
yeah,
Yeah,
why
why not?
not, right?
Do you guys remember what the first song was that you played when you first started jamming together? Like the first jam session?
Back in 2002-ish, me and Pete were playing together in a jazz group, if you count that.
Oh, do you mean like as a band?
Yeah, either way.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Well, as
long
a
memory if you can
band,
remember that far back.
What was the first one we? Do you remember?
No, I mean, it was probably like
Probably Blue Shoes or
Blue
Groovy
Shoes
D
or
Yeah.
Groovy
One of the
D
old ones.
or maybe just something we made up and
There-
decided,
Yeah.
hey, this
There
is a
was,
B flat.
we do a lot of
let's
that.
play this.
Charleston Chew, which is the one that I was talking about before that we barely play, but that was one of the original groups.
Okay.
What else was there? Raised by Wolves, which we don't play anymore.
Yeah. Charleston Chew.
Yeah.
A lot of wolves imagery in your music. Then.
Oh, I spend a lot of time around dogs. During the day, as just to fill time and a little extra money, I walk dogs, and so I think about wolves and dogs. And actually, the studio where we recorded, Fred and Joni's place. Shout out to Fred and Joni. They have a couple dogs that are like hybrid wolf dogs.
Yeah, that's right. And
Okay.
kinda what-
They
what-
were
They
were
hung
part of
out
the
with us
process.
while we were recording, and they even like howled on like one of the tracks that we recorded, and that was pretty fun. And they're great dogs, big fluffers. Yeah.
So I'm imagining you guys have been getting more and more accustomed to doing improv together. As you've been playing out, at first did you take any cues from any specific musicians with improv? And also, have you been taking cues from each other? Have you picked up on any things or special techniques that you're like, oh, I know that, Peter's going to do this, so I'm going to do that, How has it been going as far as
I think
getting used to
that's
playing
how
with each
our
other?
process has been from like the beginning is just who's gonna cue who when, and like it might be all right, drums is gonna hit on the one, which would be a normal like music thing anyways, but given the context of the song and stuff, how we improvise into that I think changes pretty much show to show. Like if Gabe is gonna solo, I'll kind of hear where he's at in the solo, and then I'll kind of dictate, okay, Gabe, sorry, Gabe, you're done. And then boom, it's
Okay.
like that,
Yeah.
at least in a live context. And then I think like who I look to, just, any old jazz drummers, Elvin Jones is like my favorite in terms of that. Just very, not exactly pocket playing, but, kind of plays in and around it a lot and plays with time a lot. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, like Coltrane, all that stuff with improv.
Yeah.
That's
For me
cool.
on the keyboards, I listen a lot of like Jimmy Smith and Jimmy McGriff, Dr. Lonnie Smith. You gotta have either the last name Smith or the first name Jimmy. But also
narrows it
Herbie
down.
Hancock. Herbie Hancock was like a big influence, and then the Meters, which actually Pete introduced me to them a long time ago, and real big influence. Who else? Yeah, I mean, different hip hop groups too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of like
Yeah.
the flow of words.
Hip hop
Tribe
definitely
Called Quest.
kind of gets in there a lot through Sam's playing on the drums, and we all listen to hip hop, growing up and stuff. So it's in there, along with all the jazz stuff and the blues. There's definitely a little bit of hip hop in there, whether or not we recognize it or not.
Right.
And yeah, one of the things I love about this band so much compared to some of the other bands is that I have so much room to solo and experiment, and I never play the same solo twice. I can't. I don't think it's physically possible for my brain to do the same solo twice, but you know, there are some themes that I kind of come back to and hit on, and sometimes I'll play the theme, sometimes I'll play something completely different. It's just what I feel at that point. And in part, this is kind of like a really selfish project for me. At least that's how I see it. It's more my outlet, and I'm not really thinking too much about the end user, the listener, and it's just, you know, happy circumstance that people want to listen to it.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's meant as like an outlet to express myself and express ourselves, and I think that's why we have such a good time doing it.
Well, for me, like when you talk about like this is the one funk group that I'm in, and funk has always been like my favorite genre. So it's like with all, and don't get me wrong, I love playing hip hop with, you know, Jen, Niall, Streetlight Society, all that stuff. But it's like this is the one time I can, like, you know, just let loose and be free with all the funky, you know, James Brown's influence and stuff like that. Is like, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
so
really
loose
fun
and
group to play.
There's no rules really.
Yeah.
And we're all, I mean,
We mess
we're
up a
all
lot, but,
learning.
like,
We're all,
yeah.
you know, it's like we're not too serious
Happy
about
mistakes.
it.
Yeah, they're
you
all
know?
real
Yeah.
happy mistakes.
Try to work with the mistakes and make something out of it, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes you a better musician. You know,
Yeah.
you can turn a mistake into something that sounds cool and you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Or I'll
yeah.
add it to the song and keep
Yeah.
it there. Like,
As long as
Yeah.
you don't acknowledge that you made a mistake, you didn't really make a mistake, right?
That's
Yeah, you
the
can't
key.
just don't make any faces.
Yeah, I
and
have
no
a
one will
hard
know the
time
better.
sometimes doing that. It's like, just let it go, no one noticed, you know.
Right.
Well, before we run out of time here, we want to talk about, you guys have a show coming up.
yes, we do. We're going to be at Boone and Crockett's. That'll be this Friday, the 24th. We're starting at 8 o'clock.
About
Yeah.
2 hours we're playing? About 2
We're
hours?
playing till 11:30, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Okay.
yeah, catch us over
Yeah,
there.
we'll play 2 sets. We'll probably play some covers. We like to pick things out of, you know, the traditional jazz books and then kind of mess them up and play them all weird. And
Do it our way.
yeah. I mean, we play it our way, right? So that's kind of what you're supposed to do. And mostly originals, though. We play mostly originals.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you got a couple more for us. First one, Brown, James.
Correct. That's
Correct.
my tribute
Alright.
to James Brown when he lost his library card, you know.
All right. Well, that's what we got coming up for you guys in just a couple minutes here. We got a couple messages while these guys get set up, and we'll be right back with some live music. Stick around.
Yo, what's up, people? This is Juicebox, and you're listening to 91.7 WMSE. You know the drill. Legendary radio. Let's go! Walking in Milwaukee like every day, through snow and sleet.
All right. We're sending it back out to the Bob and Genie Friedman live performance studio for a second set. Here is Smoke and Mirrors.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition of Local Live on WMSE. Local Live is a production of WMSE Radio, recorded and broadcast live from the Bob and Genie Friedman Live Performance Studio on the downtown campus of the Milwaukee School of Engineering. Local Live is produced by Erin Wolf and Cal Roach and engineered by Billy Cicerelli. All video by Moleskin Productions. Hospitality for Local Live artists is provided by Cedar Teeth Pizza, who can be found online at cedarteeth.com, Anodyne Coffee Roasting Company at anodynecoffee.com, and by Sprecher Brewing Company at spreckerbrewery.com. For Local Live videos, follow us at WMSE Milwaukee on YouTube. For upcoming guests and archives of past Local Live performances, visit WMSE.org. And tune in again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another edition of Local Live.